Hello there, YouTube. Whew. It's your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Today's trade paperback is Black Panther, Volume 1, A Nation Under Our Feet, Book 1. Yeah, this is a pretty legendary Black Panther run, very beloved, very recognizable, cover art-wise, too. Like, I see this art and I'm like, that's the Ta-Nehisi Coates run. 100%. It's the Black Panther run I'm most familiar with. I have the first several trades. Do I have all of them? You know, I'm honestly not sure. But I do have this one first printing physical copy. I know I review a lot of digital stuff now, but I do have this physically. And it's pretty cool. It's New York Times bestselling author Ta-Nehisi Coates, illustrated by Brian Stelfreeze, and I love the art in this book. I feel like not enough comic reviews talk about the art, but I really like this. Anyways, I'm going to give you a read up of the back of the book here real quick like. A new era begins for the Black Panther as MacArthur Genius and National Book Award winning writer Ta-Nehisi Coates. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but he's the writer from Between the World and Me. And legendary artist Brian Stelfreeze take the helm. T'Challa confronts a dramatic upheaval in Wakanda that... Sorry. That will make leading the African nation tougher than ever before. When a superhuman terrorist group calling itself the People sparks a violent uprising, the land famed for its incredible technology and proud warrior traditions will be thrown into turmoil. As suicide bombers terrorize the population, T'Challa snuggles to unite his citizens, and a familiar villain steps out of the shadows. If Wakanda is to survive, it must adapt. But can its monarch... one in a long line of Black Panthers survives the necessary change? Heavy hangs the head that wears the cowl. Collecting Black Panther 2016 1-4. By Ta-Nehisi Coates, Brian Stelfreeze, and Laura Martin. Plus T'Challa's classic first appearance from Fantastic Four 1961, number 52. Yeah, this book's normally like $16.99 in the US, but this is the first printing, so it's probably, I don't know, a little more maybe. This is a pretty recognizable Black Panther run, a big run. This is, I think, T'Challa taking the crown back after his sister fell in battle. After her run as Black Panther, and Queen Shuri is Shuri? Yeah, that sounds correct. So when I jumped into this, I was a little confused because I hadn't read some of the stuff before it. I did have to look some things up to fully comprehend it. So make sure you've either read a little of what comes before, or watch like a video explaining everything you need to know before reading the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Panther run. You know. Anyways, it's really good. it's really good, you guys. So T'Challa's people kind of don't trust him anymore. They don't really see him as working in their best interests. And it's like, you know, it's hard to take the side of monarchs in a lot of stuff. But he's always been portrayed as a good king. But there's just been so much turmoil under his reign. Doom War, Namor, and just all this stuff that's been happening. It's all kind of happened with him as king, so he gets a lot of the blame. The people aren't happy, and then... you know, a lot of the people working for T'Challa, working for the crown, are pretty violent towards the people, it seems. Not great. Really not great. His mother's trying to advise him, and she's trying to be... like, because she's, you know, making all the decisions when he's not around, when he's out and about. She's making the decisions back home, Queen Regent, etc., and I love her cloak. Oh my god, it's like his armor with all the purple, you know, energy storage stuff in it, but it's like on a big old cloak. God, I would kill for that cloak. Are you kidding me? God, she looks excellent. Oh my god. She just does. But yeah, she's making some harsh decisions about some, you know, justice stuff. And then there's a couple of villains running around. One's kind of like a shaman-y kind of guy, and the other is a lady that can like make you see your insecurities and fears. And then we get some great Pride community representation. I was very surprised to see it and very happy. We got some badass lesbian rebel warriors running around, fighting to free the people. You know, at first it's just the two of them with these like high-tech prototype armors, and then they kind of, you know, start to build an army towards the end of the volume. And T'Challa's, you know, we're upset about his sister. A lot of people see him as leaving her to die, and he kind of almost feels that way as well, which is a lot. Kind of a trigger warning for attempted sexual assault, by the way, in this book. It is stopped, and the men are punished violently, but still, you know, trigger warning, because that makes me very uncomfortable. But I'm glad it didn't actually end up happening. I'm glad those dudes were slaughtered. Thank you for that. And we get a lot of, like, philosophical debate and stuff in this, but there's also, like, this cool sequence where T'Challa's confronting his insecurities and stuff, and he's, like, drawn as this, like, blue energy, and the insecurities are this green energy. It's so great, and I love how the art, like, casts shadows all in just the right places. I love art that puts a big emphasis on shadows, you know? Like, you ever see the Universal monster films? You know how they're kind of lit, like the German expressionist almost, like, just, you can do so much with shadows, and I feel like comic books often focus on being so big and bright and colorful that the shadows aren't used appropriately, excluding Batman, but the shadows are kind of usually used in the same way over and over in Batman, which is pretty wild. But yeah, I just love how shadows are cast on people's faces and on the walls and everything in this book. It's done incredibly well. And so much of the monologue boxes, they're more like poems. Like there's this one about a tree and its life and how humans have treated it throughout history and all this crazy stuff. I mean, yeah, the monologue boxes are basically poems. And they're so beautiful paired with the art and the story. This is a magnificent book. It really, really is. And Shuri is like in the plane of Wakandan memory, the Jalia? The Jalia? Is that what it's called? And there's like this being that's like the mother of Wakanda, but it's taken the physical form of her mother, you know? And there is a bombing. You know, and a lot of this stuff that the rebels are doing, you know, it's like, hey, if they don't want a monarchy, you know, give them a democracy. Go ahead. But also they, you know, like, don't be killing the people that you want on your side, right? Like, the suicide bombings are, that's a little much. But one of the suicide bombings, it's just a lot. And so T'Challa's mother, Queen Mother, she it tells T'Challa that he's never been a real king, and he's never truly devoted himself to his people. That everything he's done as king, he did because he felt he had to, because he felt the responsibility of the crown made it that he had to do these things. And if he wasn't king, he would not have done what he does to protect people. And I was like, damn! Because, like, he wouldn't be fighting for the things he fights for if he wasn't king. If he didn't have these responsibilities, he just wouldn't help people the way he does. And then T'Challa's like, damn, you're right. I have never truly given myself to my country. Actually, I kind of want to tell you exactly what she says here. She says, "No, T'Challa, let us not mince words here. You have never given willingly. You feel the weight of the crown, but you have never felt the great honor of being king. Your people are a burden to you, and you have never let them forget this. You say you have given it all. You are wrong. You have never truly given yourself to your country." And he knows she's right. And he asks what he needs to do to be able to truly give himself to the country. And she says, "By giving those who love you something more then recitation and ceremony, by giving that which all great kings ultimately offer, inspiration. So he goes out and walks among the people with his mother, but then, there's a bombing, and his mom is critically injured, and if it wasn't for his Panther armor activating and taking the brunt of the explosion, she would have almost certainly been completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. And so he was starting to take this path to being the king that the Wakandan people want him to be, right? But then as soon as that starts, it gets flipped right around. And immediately, this is what he says at the end of the last issue. Now all of you, listen. No more discourses. No more deliberation. No more excuses. No more mercy. We know what this is. It is war, and war is our nation's trade. It has been so for generations. We are all Wakanda. We will not be terrorized. We are terror itself. And the looks of the people on his council are just like, oh God, no, please don't do this. When he says it and he turns his back to them, so he's turning his back to his advisors, you know, literally and metaphorically. And it looks like he's kind of going to start doing the opposite of what his mother told him he needed to do before she was critically injured. And that's very, like, amazing. And it's a relatively short read, this book. It's 4 issues of the main story, which is why they had to pad it out with some bonuses. But the cool thing about trades is you can get a lot of cool bonuses. You know, there's like a behind-the-scenes read-up with lots of, you know, concept art and stuff. And trades usually have concept art thrown into them, you know? But they don't, they don't always have, like, read-ups about the process of development and stuff. And that's all really interesting. A lot of people will probably skip it, which is fine, because I kind of did on the first reading. But it's all good. And then it has, you know, the variant cover art gallery that's always in trades. I always really enjoy looking through those. There's actually one of them, the #1 variant by Sanford Green, where it's like T'Challa's mother and father holding him as a baby. Excellent variant. I would love that in my collection. Are you kidding me? It's such a cool variant. And then there's also a chronology in the back, which gives you like a Black Panther like reading order, like all the key Black Panther comics and the order you should read them before reading this, which would be really helpful. Read-ups on all the major creative team members. And then a reprinting of Fantastic Four 52 by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott, and Sammy Rosen, which is the first appearance of Black Panther. And, you know, the Fantastic Four, you know, it goes to Wakanda. It's very wordy. It's a very wordy book, as these old comics often were. You know, you got Inhuman stuff going on, too. I really didn't expect the Inhumans to be in it, but they were. So, you know, there we go. And I actually have a lot of older Fantastic Four books. I have 1 through 10 in the first printing Masterworks trade, which I think is worth a lot now. But I'm not going to sell it because my grandfather gave it to me, and it's one of the books that got me into comics, even though I don't super think that they hold up entirely, to be honest. But it's got, you know, the big reveal at the end that T'Challa is, you know, the Black Panther and stuff. Very cool. And then the next issue after that is called The Reason Why, but it's not included in here. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a shorter read, and then Volume 2 is also 4 issues, and then bonus stuff. And then there's also, like, in Volume 2, there's also his fight with Killmonger. The issue, I think it's actually 2 issues included in that book. The 2 issues that the Black Panther movie are based off of. We'll talk about those as well. But yeah, that's it for Black Panther Volume 1, A Nation Under Our Feet, Book 1 from Marvel. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Brian Stelfreeze. I love the art. It's actually my favorite Black Panther outfit, too. You know, it's like, it's a real simple outfit, where it's like, it's got like the necklace and the claws and stuff, but it's like mostly just black with the kind of mostly featureless cat mask. I love full facial cover masks with blank eyes. I just do. You'll notice I always really like those costumes. And this one's just, it's really cool, but then he gets hit and it starts glowing purple, and it's got like the rune looking stuff all over it when it glows purple. Ah, God, I just love, it's my favorite Black Panther outfit. I have the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legend figure of it that I reviewed on this channel like forever ago when the Black Panther movie came out. But yeah, that's it. This is an excellent book. If you're a Black Panther fan and you haven't read this, you need to hop on it. Once again, you'll need to know some stuff that happens before. And I'm, like, pretty familiar with the big events that have led to his people, turning against him. Like Thanos and his Black Order and stuff, and the Doom War and etc. Like, I'm familiar with all those events, but there were some more other Black Panther specifics I kind of need to know beforehand. But you can just look up like a YouTube video that's like, what you need to know before reading the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Panther run. Easy enough. But yeah, I'll do Volume 2 very soon. I really loved this. This is an excellent book. Definitely read it. I love the art. I think it's top tier art. And it's nice to see that, even Wakanda has political issues. But that's it. Thank you once again for your support, and I'll see you all, you guessed it, next time. Bye for now.